Overnight, entire fleets of boats, including pontoons, wake boats, and jet boats, lost half their value. Dealers are drowning in inventory. Unable to sell as used prices collapse, and desperate owners flood the market. Behind these headlines, there is a chain reaction few predicted, and the numbers are even worse than anyone's admitting. What triggered this sudden implosion, and who stands to lose everything next? On a gray Saturday morning, the general manager of a busy East Coast dealership unlocks the front door and stares at a sea of fiberglass. Every inch of the lot is packed. Pontoons, wake boats, jet boats, all lined up in rows that stretch to the edge of the property. It is not just the new arrivals. Trade-ins, repos, and consignment boats fill every spare corner. The overflow has spilled into the employee parking area. Boats that would have sold in days last summer now sit untouched for months, their price tags curling in the damp air. The manager's phone buzzes with alerts. Another owner desperate to offload a barely used model. Another listing gone live with a price slashed in half. The dealership's website, once a showcase for new inventory, now reads like a classified ad section, row after row of must-sell banners and urgent markdowns. Inside, the sales team gathers for the weekly meeting. The mood is tense. At last year's boat show, they closed 50 deals in a weekend. This year, they managed just 2. The showroom is silent except for the hum of fluorescent lights and the sound of staff fielding calls from anxious owners trying to cut their losses. The marina down the road is no better. Slips are full, but not with boaters. For sale signs hang from the rails, and dockhands swap stories about the latest abandoned hull. Brokers, once the kings of the waiting list, now scroll through endless online listings, watching prices sink lower by the week. This collapse is not hidden in spreadsheets or press releases. It is right here, in the empty showrooms, the jammed lots, and the eyes of dealers wondering how much longer they can hold on. Across the United States, the numbers confirm what anxious dealers and owners already fear. This is no ordinary downturn. In early 2025, new boat sales dropped to 64,883 units between January and April, compared to 71,321 in the same stretch last year. That is a 9% year-over-year decline, on top of 2024, which already finished below 2023. Full year 2024 sales landed at 231,576 new boats, a figure that once would have signaled strength, now overshadowed by a market awash in excess. Dealers report being overstocked by as much as 60%, with inventory sitting 30 to 45 days longer than normal. Boats that once moved in weeks now sit unsold for half a year or more, draining cash from every corner of the business. Retail sales, according to marketplace data, are down as much as 20% in some categories. The hardest hit segments, pontoons, jet boats, and wake boats, are piling up faster than any other, while even entry-level models struggle to attract buyers. Ben Groen, an economist with the National Marine Manufacturers Association, puts it bluntly. Annual boat production is declining further into 2026, with recovery delayed by persistent uncertainty, slower than forecast. At the same time, a handful of categories like freshwater fishing boats have managed a slight uptick, up 3.8%. These are the exception, not the rule. The overall pattern is clear. A sharp, grinding contraction, with millions of dollars in value erased and no sign of a quick rebound. The question now hangs in the air: how did the market unravel so fast? Factories across the United States went into overdrive in 2020 and 2021. Manufacturers scrambled to meet a flood of orders as buyers, flush with stimulus cash and stuck at home, snapped up boats at a record pace. Assembly lines ran overtime. Dealers promised delivery dates they could not guarantee, and long lists of buyers put down deposits just to reserve a spot in line. Promotions everywhere advertised zero-down offers and ultra-low interest rates, making it easy for almost anyone to sign up for a $90,000 wake boat or a $70,000 pontoon. The message was clear: If you did not act now, you would miss out for years. But the rush was built on sand. By late 2022, supply chain delays pushed deliveries out by months, sometimes years. When those boats finally arrived, buyers faced a new reality. The teaser rates were gone. Lenders now quoted 7% or even 10%, double or triple what buyers expected. Monthly payments soared. Many buyers simply walked away, demanding their deposits back or leaving dealers with boats they could not move. A financing expert says the pandemic-era deals created a pipeline of orders that collapsed as soon as the real cost hit. The result was a market flooded with inventory and a chain reaction that would soon pull the entire industry underwater. Loan statements arrive with new numbers circled in red. Adjustable rate financing, once a minor footnote in the contract, now turns every monthly payment into a shock. Owners who bought at the peak with 10% down find themselves owing more than the boat could fetch, even at fire sale prices. When payments jump and buyers walk away, lenders move fast. Repossession crews hitch up trailers at dawn, hauling away boats that have not moved in months. Each repossession adds another unit to the backlog, swelling auction lots and dealer inventories already bursting at the seams. For dealers, the pressure comes from all sides. Floor plan lenders, who fronted millions for inventory, demand curtailments, meaning forced principal paydowns, on every boat that lingers past 90 days. Miss a curtailment and the clock runs out. Lenders can call the entire loan, seize dozens of boats at once, and dump them at auction for pennies on the dollar. The cycle feeds itself. More repossessions mean steeper price drops, which drag even solvent owners underwater. What began as a manageable risk morphs into a self-reinforcing spiral, turning once coveted assets into liabilities no one wants to claim. Slips that once had waiting lists are now battlegrounds. Marina owners juggle angry calls from boaters whose contracts promised space, while abandoned hulls clog the waterline. One owner in Florida describes it as a game of musical chairs, but the music stopped and nobody told the players. Dock hands haul for sale signs from one slip to the next, sometimes finding the same boat relisted by a new, desperate owner. Disputes break out over unpaid fees, and the threat of legal action hangs over every conversation. Some marinas are at 110% occupancy, forced to stack boats too deep or turn storage lots into makeshift graveyards. The stress is not limited to the water. Insurance companies are refusing coverage for idle vessels, and maintenance crews face a backlog of work on boats no one wants to pay for. Veterans of the industry recall the RV collapse after the 2008 recession and the housing bust that left entire developments empty. The warning signs were there: overproduction, easy credit, and a rush of buyers who never planned for the long haul. Now, marinas serve as a living archive of ignored lessons, each slip a reminder that in every boom, someone always gets left holding the keys. Certain boats have become nearly impossible to unload. Pontoons, wake boats, and jet boats, once the darlings of the pandemic surge, now top the list of high-risk inventory. Dealers are overstocked with models mass-produced in anticipation of endless demand. Today, buyers have vanished. Maintenance-heavy boats with complex electronics or specialty engines are especially toxic. Their running costs can exceed what most owners are willing to pay. Service backlogs only add to the headache. Entry-level and mid-tier powerboats, built by the thousands during the boom, now linger unsold for half a year or more. Even units from 2024, barely broken in, are being dumped at deep discounts. The pattern is clear. Boats that were easy to buy are now the hardest to sell, and every new arrival only deepens the glut. In a market this volatile, patience is power. Bargain hunters are circling, but the smartest buyers are holding back. Auction lots are swelling with repossessed boats, and desperate sellers are everywhere. Every deal carries hidden risks. Contracts written during the boom often include non-refundable deposits and clauses that favor the seller if financing falls through. Before making an offer, demand to see every page of the agreement, especially the fine print on rate locks and delivery timelines. Never wire money for a boat you have not inspected in person. Avoid listings that promise too good discounts. Walk away from any deal that does not allow for a full mechanical check or a clear title. In this environment, rushing in can turn a bargain into a financial trap. The safest move is to wait. Prices are still falling and time is on your side. Right now, thousands of boats sit idle. These assets have become liabilities in a market no one saw coming. As lenders tighten and storage costs soar, the ripple effects reach every marina and every street. One collapse can erase billions overnight. Its aftershocks rewrite the rules for years. What happens next is still unwritten.